Hi, this is Mike from thesubstream.com here with an episode of Watch This Instead for the week ending the 1st of May 2009. I celebrated May Day by seeing a really big Hollywood movie called X-Men's Origins Wolverine about my most favorite comic book hero because he's from Alberta, same as me, Wolverine. It stinks. It stinks out loud. And it's bad in the way that too many comic book movies are bad. It's dumb. There's no attention paid to detail. Most of the acting's bad, except for Hugh Jackman, who's pretty good. It's, at the same time, hyper-violent and completely bloodless. All it is a setup for 5 more cash cow sequels. There's characters in this movie that don't need to be in it, that have nothing to do with the story, that have nothing to do with the tone of Wolverine's journey from young boy in the Northwest Territories to Canadian killing machine. Like, you've got this guy Gambit, who's a really popular X-Men in the comics, but how does we get our own Gambit movie? We should put him in the Wolverine movie. So how do we get him in the Wolverine movie? Well, okay, so this is a spoiler. Wolverine's looking for an island. The only person that knows where the island is Gambit. So then he goes to Gambit and he says, Gambit, you tell me where that island is. And Gambit says, I don't trust you. Let's have a fight about it. So then they have a fight about it, and then Gambit says, I'll show you where the island is. I'll take you there in my little Cessna plane. And they fly through some clouds, and you think, wow, they're flying to a mysterious, remote, hidden island where only Gambit... No, they're flying to 3 Mile Island, the second or third most famous island in the world. If it was Family Feud, and they were like, the Logan family, and then they were like, yeah... Tell me the name of an island. Then somebody would say 3 Mile Island, and it would be number 3. 27 out of 100 people would say 3 Mile Island when asked to name an island. It's that famous. And Gambit couldn't just say, oh, go to 3 Mile Island. You know that super famous island where everybody knows where it is? Yeah, that's where they are. Go there. No, he has to fly him in his dumb plane because this movie's about dumb people. And also, why would you put Will.I.am in it? He doesn't. His character, this rapper from the Black Eyed Peas, his character doesn't do anything. There's no reason for him to be in it, other than you can say, hey, guess what? The guy from the Black Eyed Peas is in this movie. So that the 10 people who like the Black Eyed Peas in 2009 will go see this movie, and they can make an extra $120. Dumb characters who are idiots. And they think that it's made for dumb people, and it's really kind of insulting and rude, and I didn't like it at all. So what should you watch instead? You should watch a movie that's really well made and really smart. And it's not a stupid, shitty comic book adaptation. It's a movie about comic books, and it's called Comic Book Confidential. And I'm tired and sick because I have the swine flu, so I'm going to take the camera and turn it around and point it at my friend Ryo, who's going to tell you about it.
So, hear me out. Comic Book Confidential is a documentary about comic books. And even if you're a huge comic book nerd, or if you haven't even heard of Superman before, which is unlikely, it's worth checking out this documentary, if only because it's really neat to learn about how specific pop culture trends get born, evolve, and eventually grow into something that influences other aspects of pop culture and society at large. This film is made by Canadian filmmaker Ron Mann, who's being featured at this year's Hot Docs Festival. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's thorough without being too dense, and hands down it serves as the definitive film on the subject. And that has everything to do with when it was made, which is the late 80s. Ron Mann managed to get interviews with some huge, big names in comic book history, pioneers like Will Eisner and William Gaines, Harvey Kurtzman and Jack Kirby, among others. These are all guys who were there in the beginning, who basically invented the art form. And tragically, after the film was made, a lot of these guys passed away. So it's like great timing on Ron Mann's part. Yeah, it's a great movie. You should check it out. Not only are there interviews, there's like some really neat animated sequences where they bring some of the comic book stories to life. Totally entertaining, totally worth watching, and you should check it out. Comic Book Confidential by Ron Mann. And if you're in Toronto this week, check out Hot Docs, because there's about 6 or 7 Ron Mann films that are being shown as a retrospective of his 25 plus years as a documentary filmmaker. But if you have nothing to do this weekend and you're wondering about Wolverine, check out Comic Book Confidential. Goodbye.